Hi, welcome to another episode of Beyond Chronic Disease. My name is Wendy and I'm your host. And we today are talking about common sense. It's something that I've always suggested that, common sense prevails in situations. And typically, in situations where, you don't want to jump off a building, common sense tells you that you're going to get severely hurt or killed. Situations like that are pretty commonsensical, I guess. But there's other little bits and pieces that we do in our daily lives that there's really no such thing as common sense. And I always used to term the phrase common sense, but I know now that there is no such thing because, like I said, we're all very different and we learn differently. And unless you have actually done a task before and, made a mistake, or a mistake as in a learning mistake, something to learn from, then you won't have that common sense about that particular task because you may not have ever done it before. And our brains are all wired a little bit differently as well. So what I do is different. How I do something is very different to how my husband does something or even thinks about it. So, and I really have to get my head around the whole big picture and how everything's going to work before I can work out how to do certain things. So I'm here to say there's no such thing as common sense. And I guess it's just one of those terms that we use, and some of us use it a little bit lightheartedly, some of us don't. So for those of us that don't use it lightheartedly, I suggest that you start using it lightheartedly because there is no such thing as common sense. I'll say it again. There's no such thing as common sense because we're all very different people. And we are very multicultural in Australia. And so, of course, other countries do things different to how we do things. So there's just no such thing as common sense. So we all need to be very patient and teach people and, or not just to show them how to do things, explain to them what you want done and let them work it out in their own way. I once read an article, read something about how there's, 50 ways to wash the dishes or something, which is so true. You can use different dishcloths. You can use, you can use the dishcloth, the dishwasher if you want. That's one way. A dishcloth. You can use a scrubbing brush. You can soak things in the sink overnight. There's so many different ways. And I guess I'm an advocate. If you want it done one way and one way only, then you do it yourself. Don't try and tell people how to do it your way. I mean, we all do that. I do that, I explain my way to family members because I know that my way is a simple way. Or, the easiest way to do some things, or because of certain other factors, it might be the quickest way to do something. But then, I have to either walk away, because I know that they're probably going to do it differently, or just do it myself. So if you're if you're a person that gets very impatient when people are trying to work things out for themselves, and you're sitting there thinking, I wish they would just use their common sense, then maybe look at something that you haven't done before and see how it feels when somebody's explained it to you and you can't do what they're doing, or you just find that there's a different way that you want to do it, get the same outcome, and look at it from that perspective, because that's the only way that we're going to be a little bit more kind to others when it comes to, we think you should have common sense, that term. So even doing a I don't know, there's so many simple tasks that you would think that everybody would know how to do them, but if you've never done something before, like if you've never washed a dish before, then you need to, you have to learn how to do it. And I've given some people some tips on easy ways to, instead of soaking and instead of scrubbing dishes, putting the elbow grease into it, as we say, it's just putting a little bit of stuff in the pot and leave it overnight, and then you just wipe it out the next morning. So, if you don't know, you don't know what you don't know. So common sense is one of those things. You don't know what you don't know. So I don't use the word anymore, and I can see now that, like I keep saying, there's really no such thing as common sense. We all do things in our own different ways. And again, if you're not happy with it, or if you're impatient with the way people are doing something, anything like that, then do it yourself. That's what I say now, do it yourself. And if you want somebody to do something for you and you can't bear to watch them do it, then do what I do and walk away. And that's always a fun thing too. So no such thing as common sense. It was a little bit of a fun one for this one, because it just popped up for me recently, and I thought, oh, I'll get out there and talk about the no such thing as common sense. So hopefully last week you heard the Crohn's symptoms and stuff. I have spoken about Crohn's before. It was more the point of you don't have to have all the symptoms, or even some of the symptoms that we're told that we have, or whatever, from having certain diseases. You may not have any at all. I don't know how you would work that out if you had no symptoms at all, and you had Crohn's disease. I don't know. That's an odd one, but it's just we really need, as community, as world, we really need to get away from this one track mind, this one way that works for everybody, that really doesn't. We really need to get away from that. So, whether it's the Crohn's symptoms that you don't have, but you still have it, just because it doesn't say that that you've got this particular symptom, but you have got Crohn's, or whether it's, this common sense thing, we need to just allow everybody to work things out really for themselves. It's, we need to be more aware and conscious in our own bodies to allow that to happen as well. And that's going to be podcasts way down the track. But anyway, so all about no common sense. So again, if you're one that thinks that there's common sense in this big wide world, there is no such thing. So hopefully you can go away and think about that, and perhaps enlighten, or maybe it might put a smile on your face when you're showing somebody something and then you walk away and leave them to their devices. So it would make them happy to do it their own way, and it would make you happy not to see them tragically doing it a way that you don't like it to be done. So, well, that's me anyway. So no common sense, peeps, and I'll see you next week. Bye.